Run all that over.
All right, we are live on Facebook, and not only that, we got my guy back. Yo, Stevie boy, what's been going on? Where you been, baby?
Been on vacation, been passing stones, just been having fun.
I hear you've been collecting gold, Steve.
Yeah, if I lose on this profession, I'll definitely have something with panning rocks and panning for gold. But enough about me. It is Throw It Out There Thursday. Remember, anyone that goes live with us will get a free t-shirt. But before we do that, let's go over to none other than Justin Smith.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Hi, Chase. How's it going?
Oh, it's going just fine, Justin.
Today a deodorant day, or
today
not?
Is a deodorant day because today is a day about improvements, Justin.
Improvements. Improvements
Yes.
to what? Improvements to yourself? Self-improvement?
Self-improvements. I got a new deodorant I'm trying out. You know, I'm going for gold. The old stuff just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, Steve's got an improvement.
Justin, I would say that Chase's day is splendid. Okay?
Splendid.
Splendid.
Ooh. Yes, or we thought Chase would say Splenda.
Yeah.
I'm having a Splenda day. Another Chaseism, in case you guys are writing those down.
Oh, boys,
Josh,
you're so sweet.
I think that you should probably relinquish some of the extra Chaseisms maybe once a week.
Okay.
We
will.
Next time,
Yep.
have a couple ready to go. They're always.
You probably have a couple like right off the top of your head, right?
You got any new ones?
It'll be next week during Mountain Specific time.
Mountain
Specific time?
Yeah, another Chaseism, that's for sure. Today, all day in this feed is Throw It Out There Thursday, of course. It is Thursday, right? You guys, I don't even know what day it is right now. They're running around crazy, but that means your questions are the feature. So, serve them up. All your questions. Let's do that. We've actually had a subject to talk about on Thursdays for 3 days, but we have never even talked about that subject because your guys' questions are so good. So keep them going, and we'll jump right into it. Maybe we'll walk around the shop in the middle of all this.
Chris Togel, why is Chase speaking? You know, Chris, I ask myself the same question all the time.
We
Why are
ask
you
that
speaking?
every day.
Yes.
Chase, you probably ask, what is it you're going to speak about next? Every 2 or 3 seconds in your head.
It's just hard because at the same time I got to think about what I'm saying, then think about not saying it. It's just too much.
And then you
going
have
on.
to think about who you're going to offend when you say it because it's not appropriate typically, right, Chase? What do you think goes on in Chase's head, Mitch? I mean, it might be a little empty, but is it echoing in there?
That is $1 million question.
Just a hamster on a wheel running for his goddamn life.
I think Chase has full-on conversations with himself, but he's like 3 different people. It's not just me talking to myself. It's Chase, and then like anti-Chase,
and then
there's
Chaucer.
And then Chaucer over here. Is that the gay version of Chase?
Yeah.
Chaucer. And then the 3 of you are having conversations in your head. You have no idea what to let loose.
I tend to listen to Chaucer.
Matt.
We actually already have a
what do you
couple people asking, when is the YXZ show going to happen?
The WagZ show?
Yes.
That is
let's do it.
That is Chase's show specific. I don't think anyone else is gonna join in that show. So
Getting all the fireworks
he
together.
can host
it's gonna be a
it.
big one.
he can host it. He can write it. All of it. It's all the credits on that show will be Chase. The whole list.
We'll get
Guaranteed.
George Hamill to come in with me.
We'll be ready in a few years.
Hey, Josh.
Even George is getting away from the dark side. He was in an RS1. By the way, that RS1 that George was racing at the UTV Championships last year, Scanlon donated it to a friend of his to run in the Sonoran Rally, and he was winning in 2 stages in with that same car that has not been touched. Actually just got wiped off, and then they turned it loose. That RS1 is still kicking butt. Over even a lot of the turbo stuff, actually. Yes, Steve.
Justin from Bryce Beckman. He wants to know, what is your least favorite part of a side-by-side?
Oh, good question. With no preparation, that's a hard one. My least favorite part?
It says.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I would probably say the least favorite part of a side-by-side is when they're not running. Because they're way too much fun otherwise.
Matt knows a lot about not running side-by-sides.
Not running side-by-sides. And you know what? I'm gonna even go more specific. My least favorite part of a side-by-side is a belt. which means that I should love Hondas and YXZs.
Wait, can you say that one more time?
YXZs.
You should like, right?
But, I mean, Steve's over there gagging at the moment, but here's the thing. Look, we talk smack about YXZs. It's just in fun because you like them, Chase. But there's some really good stuff on those that I can appreciate, everybody can appreciate, and having no belt is a great thing. But the benefits of most side-by-sides that have belts far outweighs the one benefit of a no belt system in a YXZ in my mind. Matt.
We did get a statement, X3 shift forks suck. And then Donald wants to know...
Hold on a second. X3 shift forks suck? The only way that they suck is if you're shifting while floored. Or like tranny slamming. That's the only time you're ever going to bend one.
Chase knows a lot about tranny slamming.
Now we're up in your alley. Literally, Chase. Would you like to elaborate on tranny slamming?
I am going to Vegas tonight. I can't talk about any of my tranny slamming.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Back to the shift fork thing. Dude, we run these trannies floored, and we can run them for 3,000 miles in a race car with zero issues. So if you've got trans fork problems, you've got driving problems, in my opinion. Matt.
Donald wants to know, he's got a 2020 X3 in SoCal. He's looking to replace the OEM cage. Wants to know if we have any recommendations for companies to purchase from and what factors should he look for in purchasing a cage.
Okay, so factors would be safety. Another factor would be safety. Another factor would be the workmanship that would lead to safety. Last factor of all that would be looks. So pick something that's built right, built well, quality people doing the work, preferably really good wire feed welds or awesome TIG welds. I would prefer that you run a chromoly cage, not a DOM cage. They're stronger. Cage manufacturers. TMW.
Brick City.
Brick City? Who else have we had in here that was really badass too, that I thought did an awesome job? There's the cages that
CageWorks.
CageWorks is always also good. That is
SDR.
Raglan, right? SDR.
SDR, yep.
Excellent one. I would just stick to the name brand stuff because they've been around long enough to know what they're doing, and I would ask if they've got a chromoly upgrade or a TIG welded upgrade. Going to cost you some more money, but it's way better in the long run. So that's what I would do.
I have something to add to that.
Add. So when you end up on your cage, what can you tell us about that?
Height. Because sometimes, yeah, they look bitchin', having the drop, but like that 3-inch drop that I had in there was a freaking nightmare.
Okay, so along those lines, here's what we do in race car stuff. Sit in the seat that you prefer, not in the stock seat, but if you're going to put seats in it, then put those aftermarket seats in it.
Over that.
Get in there, wear a helmet, and with a helmet on, take your fist and put it right on top of that helmet. That cage needs to be not touching your fist, but close. That's your height. You need 3 inches of room between the helmet and the cage. The reason is, when you flip over and land it like this, it'll stretch the belts, and you don't want to get your head kicked like this and break your neck. You got to have some space in there so you don't have issues. Steve.
We got a live one, but I got a question. You got height here, but what about length from the steering wheel? How do you get that one?
Is that cage controlled or otherwise?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I'm on a diet gut.
Yeah, okay.
Take all dimensions into a factor, okay, when you're doing cages.
My
I
wife's
think
on the
we
line?
recognize the person signing in. Chase, who you got?
We got a live one. Amber, where are you at? What are you driving? And what's your question? Uh-oh, she might be driving too much.
Oh, Amber, you're breaking up. Can you hear us?
Oh, come on.
Oh, we got her.
I'm driving.
Oh, that's safe.
Safely.
Oh, she's parked. Where are you at, Amber? What's your question for Steve today on the feed?
I am parked out first, right down the street from you guys. And my question for my husband is, are you going to be off work on time today?
Yeah, Steve.
to call a live feed gas? How embarrassing.
Are you working late, Steve?
No, I don't think so. I'll be off at 5. 15.
You think?
15.
15. Steve, do you normally work late?
Yeah.
And early too.
Yep.
You're here like 2 hours early half the time.
Sometimes, yeah.
What's your normal? What would you say your average hours are? Like 4:30, 5 o'clock till 5:30?
Sure. Yeah.
Something like that.
Could be that. Yeah.
Amber, we got a question for you. You guys just got off a vacation. What did Steve do special for you on your vacation? I want to know.
Oh, bye.
Yeah, no.
We lost.
The connection's not so good right there.
Bye.
Bye.
You got any good questions, Mitch?
Yeah, from, it went back, hold on. Hi Sierra, Side by Side. You guys rock. Have you guys ever gone or have any plans to go to St. Anthony Sand Dunes in Idaho?
So I've been to St. Anthony quite a bit. And it's awesome. I mean, you're talking stellar, like, you know, building size dunes stack up pretty high. Kind of a valley system of duning as opposed to like Glamis.
In the middle of a mountain.
And also some lava rock. Have you run around that? And
yeah.
a little bit of a lake in some of the camping areas and stuff. It's really beautiful. Love to go back there again. Now, are we going there as a company? I don't think we have a plan, Matt, yet. But I think that there's a takeover up there. Some other stuff.
Invasion that goes on there.
Okay.
But I'm familiar. I've been to that event. So it's something we'll definitely look into.
So happening soon, just to answer your question. Matt, you had another question too.
Yeah, we actually had Carlos want to know what goods do you guys have for the KRX 1000, which we happen to have behind us.
Dun, da, da, da.
Yes, sir.
Mitch, you can do it for that.
Full spring valving packages for the stock Fox shocks that come on it. We also have an upgraded IBP, like an aftermarket shock that you can purchase from us as well.
That is a complete bypass Fox shock set.
Yep. Gives
you
you
can put bypasses on that.
Gives you high speed, low speed, and I believe rebound if I'm not mistaken.
They are rebound actually.
Yep. IQS for the factory shock. We just released the front and rear link kit for that car as well.
Sway bar links.
Sway bar links. And then some other stuff that we're working on too, future stuff. So
new video too coming out.
Not for this car though.
We got a live one. Rock Warrior on the line. Rock Warrior, what's going on, man? You're dressed awfully nice. Where are you at?
Danger zone.
Are you a spy? And what's your question for us?
I'm from Southern California, LA boy.
Bro cow.
I drive a 2050 and I to get on live with you guys. Just want some more YXZ love, some more development for the buggy.
Man, I'm gonna have to cut you short on the YXZ thing. Thanks for signing in, but here's all kidding aside, there's so much that's good about a YXZ. The problem is that there aren't very many of them. So from a business standpoint, as soon as we develop a part for that, we might sell 5. We're not going to sell 500. So it's kind of last on our list of things to develop at the moment, until they come out with a different shock package, or they come out with a longer wheelbase, or they come out with factory turbo, something like that that's really going to step up the Yamaha game, where a lot more people are going to want to buy it, or maybe a suspension change. The King of the Hammers, you notice the fastest YXZ there had a trailing arm conversion. So that A-arm was gone, it's trailing arm and radius rod, and they're blowing through the whoops. So I have a feeling that's something that's going to come for the YXZ, and when they do that, then we're going to be all over it, because there's going to be more units to be sold. People are going to be buying the car, and we're going to make more parts. But until then, I can't help you out with any of that. Steve, you want to add to that?
I just got a question for him. Sir, are you either a bank teller or a lawyer?
I'm neither. I'm in the control industry. I'm the owner.
It's got a nice button up on it. I don't know. It said bank teller to me.
But I do have a serious question.
Okay.
Avid UTV is creating a long travel suspension for the YXZ that fixes the geometry.
You still there?
So my question is, my view at Box, are you guys able to tune it?
So no matter what they build, we can tune it. No problem with that. But back to what you were saying about a long travel kit, that was because you're breaking up, but we only got half of that. But you were saying that somebody's building a long travel kit for the YXZ that fixes the geometry issues. There's only a couple of ways you can fix the geometry in that, and that is adding wheelbase or changing the pivot points of the A-arms going farther forward. Those are the only two ways you can fix it. So unless they're making chassis changes with frame mounts, or they're running a ton more wheelbase in it, like, they'd have to have a rear wheelbase kick in the arm that was way past 4 inches to fix it. So I'm skeptical on the fixing it idea. They might be able to help it a little bit, but that's it. Yes, we can tune it. If you have it, we'll nail it for you as best as can be done.
Looks like we lost Rock Warrior there. But
one other suggestion: throw the tire off the rear bumper on that after you've done that long travel. That'll help a lot too.
Awesome, awesome.
Matt, I thought you said you had something. No.
Nope.
I got Michael Smiley Duran. Big shout out to you guys. You guys had my Razor XP 1000 last weekend and did an amazing job. Kyle was right about it being a day and night difference. Super satisfied. Thank you. You guys rock. Can you believe that, Kyle?
Thanks, buddy.
Steve, I think we're going to change your name to Gold Miner. Actually, it might be the new
I did have a new hashtag called Schmeckle Steve.
Schmeckle Steve?
Yeah.
Schmeckle Steve.
Well, I think you're dropping nuggets. That's for sure. Yeah. What do you got, Mitch?
Austin P110 wants to know, when will the Walker IQS be available?
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say probably next to never. We have said in the past that we were working on it, and that is true. We are not, and we are planning on not putting any effort into that at all. So answer is no. You do have an option coming soon, though, and that would be with eClick. So SDI is dropping an eClick system. We are actually very integrated into that system with SDI. And I think they're probably about 2 months out or a month out from dropping it, but they're going to have that available for walkers. One thing to consider, though, it requires a brand new bridge, so the whole head of the shock and reservoir mount has to be changed. So it's not going to be a very inexpensive system. Not that any of this is cheap. It's just going to be more expensive than IQS would be, but we're not going to do IQS on a walker.
Perfect. First Family 702 X3 shock therapy radius rods. What's the secret to getting the plate on? Radius rod plate.
Talent.
Well,
talent, man.
It is tricky.
Adjusting the radius rods, like misadjusting them like crazy, can sometimes help because it's got those 6 bolts that are on the actual chassis side
coming out of the
plate. Yeah, where the plate goes on. So misadjusting your radius rods a lot does help out.
Wait. Let me describe that a little different. So when you say misadjusting them, you're keeping the lower radius rod
does not get misadjusted. The upper and the middle.
You're changing the toe and you're changing the upper link quite a bit in length just to line up with the stud that might be sitting there, as opposed to lining the studs up with the link.
If you do a jack underneath the hub too, you can actually jack that up. That'll help push everything into instead of trying to lift it and hold everything and fight it.
Yeah, so move the suspension as much as you're moving everything else in it. What do you got, Chase?
One thing's for sure, all of our viewers are awesome drivers, because I got Dustin Lambert on the line. He's driving his car. Dustin, where are you at? What's he driving? And what is your question?
Their service is impeccable too.
XP out in Sacramento. When you guys might have the sway bars in for the Pro XP.
So on the XP Pro XP.
See?
You got me there.
See?
On the Pro XP, we are actually not developing sway bars for that. We have a new system that will allow you to have an adjustable factory bar, and really, we're actually done with the development on the one for that for the Pro, but we've been holding on to it so that we had all the other models at the same time released together.
We want the front one too for it. So.
Yeah, I would say that we're a couple of weeks out to a month out on dropping that product for that particular one. So if you can hang on for 3 or 4 weeks, it'll come. It's the next thing that's on your list to actually do videos for. Right, Mitch?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So hang tight. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hit us up in the direct message as well.
How is that guy in Sacramento has a better service than my wife that's a mile away?
That's a good question.
Does that make sense?
It might be ours too, because mine keeps freezing.
Yeah, mine keeps freezing too. I think it's Chase's old phone.
We've actually had problems back here on the computers.
Then you guys want to walk into the main shop? Let's walk over here, since it looks like we're not going to talk about our subject again on the wall. What was the subject, you guys might ask? So here's the subject for today. It was going to be our backup subject, and that is how we are growing to suit and also better serve our customers. I'll give you the overview. We're up to 53 employees, 3 different buildings, piles of customer service people, brand new phone system, complete building of CNC machines, and inventory out the wazoo. That's the short version. Next time, we'll talk about the details on what we're doing there and give you a sneak peek of some of those spots. What do you got, Chase?
Justin, Austin's wanting to know if we're going to be at the Legacy race this weekend, as well as we had some people just say they just watched the new Silver State video.
Oh, right on. Hopefully you guys like the Silver State video. You'll make Chase happy if you do. If you don't like it, tell him. It'll make him cry.
Yes.
We're not going to be at Silver State. I'm sorry, at the Legacy race. I apologize. Not going to be a Legacy race. Steve.
Justin, July 12th, someone has an appointment. They want to know, will the Turbo S high clearance radius rods be available then?
I can't tell you. We've been designing those for a while. We're just not happy with the design yet, and we just keep changing designs until we're happy. So we're not going to release something I think looks ugly, and I want it to look, you know, I don't think that any of that stuff that we've designed so far is ugly per se. I just don't think it's like stellar rock star look. So we're kind of going on the visual right now. Mitch, you had something too.
I lost it. My phone is frozen.
AZ,
Yeah.
AZ, speaking of, AZ Desert Rad said it's improvements, new Wi-Fi, question mark.
You're not wrong.
With a bunch of laughing faces.
You know what's funny about that is we have the most killer Wi-Fi in this building ever. We got like 17 different bouncing stations. There's like all across the ceiling around here is a bunch of, you know, repeaters, and it still has problems with this. But
Ryan H. Bartlett, what's your thoughts on AMSOIL?
I like AMSOIL. We don't run AMSOIL, so I don't have a ton of experience with it, but you know, back in the short course days, you're looking at Carl Redezetter was heavy on AMSOIL, and so was a lot of the other big horsepower short course guys, and they loved it. You know, we run Z-Max because we can get what we want, exactly what we want from them, and they make some excellent stuff. I'll give you a secret. Most oil, racing oil, is made by the same company. And most racing oil is made by the same company in the United States. And you can just get any particular mix, variety, and style that you want. Just depends on how much money you want to spend. And it's, you know, one company making it, putting in different blends and different bottles that have different names.
We got one of our locals on the feed, super awesome rock star dad. What's going on, man? What's your question? Good seeing you again.
I think it's Rockin' Dad, not Rockstar Dad.
I was looking at getting upgrading my walkers to the Fox Dock that you guys have. Is it better to go that route and spend like $4 grand or just rebuild the walkers to get a race?
So what UTV are your walkers on?
XP4.
Did you say XP4? I couldn't hear you.
So he's going RC2s.
XP4. I honestly think that the RC2s are a better option because the reason, do you drive really hard or you're kind of mellow? Family wagon mellow? Yeah. Okay, then I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to say do the walkers because the ride quality is going to be stellar, giant change. You guys all love it. The only reason I would recommend the RC2s is if you drive really hard, then an RC2 is a larger diameter shock than the walkers in the front, and you can get away with a lot more big air, jumps, G-out, stuff like that, because the diameter is going to help you with that. Also the adjustability. But for the money, if it's a family wagon, then just do the walkers. You're going to be happy with that. Awesome, man. Save some money. There it is. Don't ever say we don't sell you on less around here.
Rockin' Dad.
310 Racer, where will you guys be next? Where are we going, Matt?
We will be at the Highlifter event at ERX Park in Minnesota, June 9th through 13th. Come by, see me, Savino, and Mitch.
Ooh, Mitch.
I will be there.
Your first extracurricular, how do I say that? Curricular event that's not glamorous.
That's not the Dins. Well, right. No. We went to Colorado.
Oh, this is true. That was a while ago.
That was a long time ago, but
yeah. You get
my
to
second.
You get to meet the people.
The people. Yeah, I'm excited.
Kissing babies, Mitch. Kissing babies.
Yes.
Yeah. And you guys are going to have a ton of product on the semi, right? So
that's our plan.
If you guys are at the event and you want to buy some stuff, including some spring kits, you know, racks and radius rods, all that stuff, the semi's going to be loaded with product, and you guys will be able to pick it up.
Glamis 2.0.
We got one for you, Justin. Ramp Rat 943. What's your next race?
Next race, Baja 500. Thank you for asking. Race car is already prepped completely. We've got some testing planned next week. We're going to be on the dyno on Monday because we found some small plumbing issues that really would help the engine performance that we fixed. We've got clutch testing on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I think we're continuing our clutch testing and going to run a full race length in Parker, about 200 miles, and then without any issues we'll clean the car up and go to the 500. Pre-run for a week, by the way. That is going to be fun. Steve.
K&N air filter, question mark?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of K&Ns. There's a lot of air filters out there. Just do your research. I think it's a really good idea that you run an outerwear with a quality air filter. I prefer, honestly, paper filters that are badass over a wet, like not foam, a wet, porous paper filter like a K&N. So we run bone stock filters in our race car. We just make sure that the intake for that system is being drawn from the cab, not from the external. Because if it's drawing from external, that's where all the dust is, wrapped up around the rear tire. So we route it into the cab. That way it's always clean, and we don't have any issues with air cleaner stuff. We don't clog them. We run full races without changing it. Steve.
What do you think will be the next big thing in the suspension world?
More computer control. I think just like every other aspect of our life, everything's being controlled more. So we don't have to do as much, right? Because we're lazy. It's going to be the movie WALL-E pretty soon. All of us going to be fat, and we're just going to mentally think what we want the shocks to do, and that's what they're going to do. Probably.
Wait.
Probably going to happen.
Okay, yeah, there it is.
Stiffer. Yeah, stiffer. That made Chase happy.
Maybe hover.
Yeah, so I think more computer control. You're going to see a lot more ability to control things, a lot more ability to tune things through computer ECU technology and Bluetooth. That was I just gave away a hint to what's coming for us.
You gave away a lot of hints today.
I know.
I got
I'm
one.
full of them.
I'm going to preface this. Jay Huffs, be careful. We're answering for Jay Huffs. When will you be in Minnesota? I couldn't hear you. Right in his backyard.
June 9th through 13th.
There you go.
Alrighty. And then I got one for you here, Mitchy boy.
For Mitch's junk or for Mitch?
Yeah, what are you doing?
When are we going to get some RMAX love?
As soon as we get one. It's been hard to find them. There's literally like no inventory right now for anybody like a Ride Now or industry that sells those things.
Normally we get them from the dealer instantly, but none of the dealers have that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys, when's the last time you've been to the dealer and tried to buy one? They're like, we don't even take an order.
Yeah.
For half the stuff, especially at Polaris.
If anybody in Phoenix that is close to us has one, we will take it.
There you go.
And we will give you spring kit for a good deal. So we can do the rest of the testing.
Maybe even for free.
Yeah.
Free.
So let us know.
Justin, what are your thoughts on riding in cinders? That's from Mr. Sparkles.
Mr. Sparkles, I love the cinders. I think it's great. I don't care about getting scratches all over their trailing arms. Whatever, paint them again.
We might do testing there.
We test there a lot. We do altitude testing in the cinders for the race car, clutch testing at altitude, engine ECU tuning at altitude. Cinders got lots of whoops, and love whoops.
Lots
always.
Of whoops.
Yeah, just to verify stuff, we'll take even new models up there and run the cinders as well to make sure that everything works there as well as it does down here. It's 1,550 foot elevation here at the shop, and it's 6,500 foot at the base of the cinders up to 10,000. So it's a big elevation change. I like it, personally. It is dusty, who cares? Drink more beer, you won't even notice the dust.
Kirk wants to know, can you please help with Honda Talon question? Does the Honda 4-seat Talon suspension, is the Honda Talon 4-seat suspension still crappy, or does the 4-seat fix the suspension issue? And do you have a 4-seat Talon kit?
Okay, so
long question.
There is zero difference between how a 4- and 2-seat Honda suspension geometry functions. Geometrically, other than the wheelbase, they're the same. So my only problem with a Honda, similar to a YXZ, is the rear suspension geometry. The rear geometry gets worse when it comes to center of gravity issues in a 4-seater than a 2-seater. So technically, a 4-seater is worse. The caveat is the longer the wheelbase, the better it runs through the whoops. So a longer car got worse, but the wheelbase fixes the timing, so they're about an even push. Our experience is the 2-seat and 4 seats are the same all the way around, and we do have full kits for 4-seaters as we do 2-seaters. So whatever you got, we can handle that.
This is a pretty common question as well. Can I use my Can-Am X3 64-inch front shocks and a 72-inch wide A-arm?
No.
No.
Period. Done. Don't. Nope. You gotta buy 72-inch stuff to run 72-inch stuff.
If I could, I would.
We got another one of our locals on the feed, Cave 958. What's going on, brother?
Brother.
How's everybody?
Brother.
Question.
What you got?
Had your guys' swimming straps, because I actually messaged you back about this. So these are Fabworks marks.
Yep.
I was not able to get them to fit. What is the largest bolt that I can actually do? Because I just see it come through right here. Right?
Holy cow.
But the spacer just barely comes to the edge.
Yep.
Right here. And I'm worried about the brake line and looking at 7 inches in there.
Can we flip the strap to the front on that and not have a radiator clearance problem with the clamp?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it has to go to the rear.
What you can do is flip the rivets around on the brake line and maybe point the brake line in. But
Or drop it below.
or drop it below, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty long bolt that you're gonna have to run through that.
But because that arm's got a tubular hole, he could run a spacer that's it's not going to bend the bolt. It's going to come up and hit that inside of that tube.
That's true. Yeah.
So you can run as long a bolt as you want, as long as the spacer diameter is fairly close to the hole in the arm diameter, because you want the spacer to hit the arm when it gets pulled up vertical, and then that way it stops on the arm and doesn't bend the bolt. So you might be looking at a custom spacer, clearly a custom bolt or a longer bolt, but you might be looking at a custom spacer and you can run the kit.
So in that case, would you recommend that? Or maybe just do like a double shear welded on there and just go right to the...
Well, I mean, welding tabs to the arm is going to be way better always, but we try not to have everybody weld stuff because now you're looking at, patterning everything and all that. I don't think you have to weld it to it. Looking at that arm, it's going to be structured really well when that spacer leans up against that tube inside the arm on the rear. So let's just work out getting you a custom spacer. We can take some 1-inch aluminum and lay that down to get you the length that you need, or stainless. If you can figure out the overall length of that spacer and keep it flush with the back of the arm, we'll get the diameter right and you'll be good.
I'll give you guys a call on that, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, Dave.
Take it easy.
Thanks, man.
Steve.
Justin, what clutch kit do you use on the shop car, not the race car?
Shop car stock. All of them are stock. So, we ran an STM on the original pre-runner for a minute. I don't think that STMs work for off-road racing. They're a great drag race clutch, but 1,000 miles in, they're fairly worn out. So we didn't run any of the STM stuff for long periods of time. Other than that, we run stock everything. Maybe with a little bit of spring and weight and a tune, and that's about it. But stock for us, all X3s have been the best clutch to run. And on the Polarises, like I said, for drag racing, STM or otherwise stock.
Justin, what happened to the roller pedal in the new race car?
It's so the roller pedal left with the old race car, and it's still in it. The new race car is 100% stock based on where the pedals actually mount to, so we didn't have to run a roller pedal. And I think that question might be talking a little bit of smack. I think that might actually be the direction for that, right?
I don't know. It just says what happened to the roller pedal. That's from Triple Digit Sketch. I don't know.
Okay, so here's the deal.
It didn't sound like shit talking.
So the original race car, we weren't able to mount the gas pedal in the right spot or the stock spot. So the leverage on the pedal was awkward, and you couldn't push on the pedal with your foot properly because the pedal wanted to go down more than it wanted to go forward, just because we had firewall clearance issues. So that was the reason for the roller. Now in the new car, we don't have that problem, so we run stock pedal.
We got a live one, Bad Fish. What's going on, man? And where'd you get your name?
Bad
Fish.
My name's Chris. I've got a 2021 X3. Put a bunch of your parts on already. I love everything so far.
Thanks, man.
But I've got an appointment coming up for the IQS system, and in your previous videos you suggest that there's 3 different settings on the switch. What actually determines each of those settings, so soft, medium, or firm, and is that something that can be tunable or changed at a later date if soft, medium, or firm doesn't quite meet what I'm looking for each of those settings?
So soft, medium, and firm on IQS would be the same as running the compression adjuster on your shock currently. All the way soft, in the middle, or all the way stiff. It's giving you a range of the compression adjuster. So what determines how stiff that is It's the setting in the shock, it's the valving in the shock, it's the setup internally in the shock. So if you throw IQS on it and the adjustments maybe are all a little bit on the soft side for you, you end up never using soft, you're in medium or stiff all the time, then we can get inside the shock, change the internals, and we'll get everything, that whole range, adjust it stiffer. So then you'll have full use of all of it. It is fully tunable at a later date, no problem, but that's how that works.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks, man, for signing in, and thanks for having our parts. Appreciate it.
You're doing something right, man. Eco Charlie Hotel said Chris knows his stuff and has a rad car. I'm sure he has a great question. Keep killing it, man.
Awesome.
On a pretty good basis. He's got a good one, too.
How'd you get your nickname, man? Why are you a bad fish?
As always, I'm a bad fish. You a bad fish, too?
I like it. Great song. Have a good one, man.
What do you say?
Music related.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like one fish, two fish, green fish, blue fish.
I'm a bad fish, you a bad fish too, is what he said. Sound like
You're way too much of a dad right now,
I know,
Steve.
I
Come
know.
on.
He's a gold miner. Actually.
Oh, so maybe it was Justin. It says Justin is so sensitive about the pedal.
I am. I am, because I loved it. It worked great for me. I don't know why anybody else had a problem with it. They can all suck it.
Oh, soft, medium, and hard.
All in one.
Yes.
Matt, you got anything for us? How about you? Any personal questions?
Personal questions, Matt?
No? Anything?
Yeah, Matt, what are you doing this weekend?
We can help you out if you have personal questions. Doesn't have to be you two.
Or tidy
You could-
whities, Matt.
You know, just be yourself. Just let it
Be
out.
yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself.
Nick Toronto actually wants to know, can you talk about the HCR 64 to 72 conversion, specifically the brackets to reuse stock 64 suspension?
That's a really good question, man. I don't have anything to offer. I haven't installed it. Actually, I haven't seen it, but it sounds like a good idea, honestly. I don't know. I'm thinking about how that would work. I don't want to speak out of turn because I haven't seen the kit. But if you're running 72-inch wide stuff with a 64-inch shock, it's just going to be changing some of the locations for shock mounting to be able to get that kind of travel out of it. None of it sounds like a problem, but you might end up with different spring packages, different valving than we normally would run because leverage ratios change. Other than that, sounds good. Steve, you look so comfortable. You're like looking at me like
No, I got called a nugget miner.
a nugget miner.
Brat 943. Steve is a nugget miner, as well as we got Mike Doves. How many beers will it take to get Matt to do the truffle shuffle?
Matt,
And on a
come on, do it.
On a more serious note, I got Mr. Does It All. He says, all right, don't laugh, I gotta ask. Do you have anything for CF Moto cars? I'm kind of lost. Moto cars.
I don't
What is he
know what that
talking
is
about?
either.
CF Moto is
what
an
that's, what it is.
800cc, like Canadian knockoff
Of what?
Polaris
no.
800. It's just
It's like an 800.
yeah. When we were at DynoJet, we made a thing for it, but
Okay.
it's a very small run of cars.
Gotcha.
It's not a huge. They supposedly have this bigger following, but it was nothing like.
Didn't take off. So then if you're from Canada,
I think it was Canadian.
Hey,
Don't quote me.
Canada?
I think it was-
Canada.
Are you from Canada?
that's a chaseism. If you're
not
from
all the
Canada and you have a CF Moto car, then drop it by. We'll do some work to it, give it to you for free, and then we'll have a kit. How's that?
We got a lot of people
Sounds
going
about
off
right.
here. Triple digit sketch.
Do the
Says,
truffle shuffle, Matt.
As well as I got Mike Doves. Don't ignore it, Matt. LOL.
So how many beers would it take, Matt?
This kind of want beers. He wants tacos. Look at him.
Beers and tacos, or,
on,
or would
Matt.
it be Jack and whiskey? Is that your drink of choice?
Jack and Whiskies.
Don't pressure him.
All right,
He's
boys.
He's totally ditching that question.
He
guys.
is.
Yes.
Don't
And-
worry, I'll work
and-
on it.
And since you guys don't have any really good ones, we can
It
get out of
won't
here.
be today. I promise I'll do it though.
He's on
Oh,
a diet,
sure
so he's
did.
going to wait till he gets slim thick, and then he'll do it for you.
All right, have you guys done? You got anything else you want to touch on, Mitch?
One question for like the Smart Shock stuff. Have you guys had any issues with removing Smart Shocks
Everyone
when replacing it with a spring kit and getting a suspension fault? Had the key off during install.
So we don't, but people have. And what are those problems you've seen?
Yeah, when you unplug the harness.
Not plugging it in right.
Yeah, or like the little pins inside the plugs will actually get like kicked sideways. When that happens, it doesn't meet the actual other connector, so you'll throw a code just by that. So
bending a pin inside the plug is the typical issue.
Take them back out, make sure all the pins are straight, and try plugging it back in and see what happens. Usually that's the #1 thing. So, yeah.
Steve, you have something you want to share?
The Truffle Shuffle, ladies and gentlemen.
Good job. No beers. That's the answer to your question. 0 beers required.
Trick
for that.
question.
And
No
with
beers.
and with that, I don't see how we top it. I think we're out.
This is pretty good. It's not a question. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 7169. Great name. Might be related to you, Justin. Definitely related to me with the 69. Please wrap this up so I could get out of town for my birthday. Thank you so much.
I know
Tuning in
exactly who
on
that
their
is.
birthday.
I know exactly who that is,
and
too.
And with that, we are definitely gone. Otherwise, I'm going to be in trouble. Steve, take us out of here.
Jeanette, happiest of birthdays. You enjoy yourself, but if you're looking to buy anything off our website, please visit www.shocktherapyusa.com or call in at 623-217-4959. Get him.
right,
Get him,
guys.
boys.
Josh and I will be filming the Legacy race. If you find us, you get a Shock Therapy t-shirt.